Assalamu alaikum to all of you. So, my name is Lada Valeem. I have joined Valeem as the economics instructor. I will be teaching A level economics today. So, who are these students? So, let me give you a brief introduction about myself. So, about my education, I have done my O levels from TJ Public School or Phase 8, Karachi. And I did my O levels in commerce, that is business studies, economics, accounting, and advanced. And I had two A stars and 7 A's in total. And I did my A levels in mathematics, economics, and accounting. So in economics, I got an A star. That is why I'm teaching economics. And in maths and accounting, I scored an A. And currently, I'm doing my degree from the Institute of Business Management, and my degree program is economics and mathematics. So I'm majoring in economics and mathematics. So that is one of the other reason I'm teaching economics. I really love the subject. So I have a great grip on that subject, and I have been teaching economics and other subjects as well since past many years, at least 6 years. So because because apparently I have what I have heard is that I have a good teaching style. So hopefully you understand as well from the students which I have taught. They have performed exceptionally well in their exams after tutoring. I have because it isn't just studying. It's about studying and making your concepts clear and practicing. So in A-level economics, it's mostly about writing your paper pattern. It's okay if you have the knowledge, but you should also know how to attempt your exam. You have to know how to attempt essay questions, uh, how to attempt the compulsory questions, and how to choose your questions. So we will be working on that as well because for I will be giving you knowledge, but I will also be teaching you how to write your answers and how to choose questions. And I am a student as well. I have done my A levels recently, so I know exactly the problems of students. I know that at this time students have this problem and at this problem. So because I can relate to you as so well, so I think that it is easier to solve our problems this way, and so it is easier to progress this way. Also, you can always tell me anything if you have any questions. So hopefully we'll have really good sessions. And just another thing about myself, I am a really good debater. I'm a public speaker, and I really like doing MUNs. I have MUN experience, so if any one of you want to talk about MUNs as well from my side, I will always be available. But let's move on to our economics lecture for now. We will be talking about basic economic ideas and resource allocation, but in this chapter, we will only be focusing on efficiencies today, majorly productive efficiency and allocative. Let's start. So, when we talk about economic efficiency, we firstly need to know about efficiency itself. So, what do you think? What is efficiency? Well, efficiency is to utilize our resources, or to utilize anything in the best possible manner. So, it can be anything, for example, using your time efficiency. When you're using your time efficiency, you're utilizing in the best way possible, right? So, with the concept of efficiency, let's move on to economic efficiency. So, what is economic efficiency? Economic efficiency is when we use our limited resources in the best possible way to produce maximum output. Now, this can further explain how we have our resources and we have to use it in the best possible manner. By that, I mean that utilizing everything that we have to take as much benefit from that as possible so that and that as a result we produce maximum output. Like for example, if you have a machine and it can produce 100 units of, let's say, soap. It's a soap machine and it can produce 100 units of soap. So, and in a in a day, let's say in 24 hours, it produces 100 units of soap. But what do? We only are we only produce 70 units of soap in a day. So we are not utilizing a resource in the best possible manner. We are not utilizing our machine in the best possible manner. If we produce 100 soaps in a day, then we are using our machine in the best possible manner. We are efficient, right? So hopefully now that you can understand that our resource, the machine, we are using that in the best possible way to produce maximum and best possible way. We take as much benefit from it as we can, so that we can produce as much output as possible. So, well, you must be thinking, all right, we get economic efficiency, but why do we need economic efficiency? Can go without economic efficiency as well, right? But why are we still using economic efficiency and why is it so important that we're studying about it? Well, let's go back to the basic fundamental economic problem. What was that which you studied in your O levels in the very first lecture? That is that we have limited resources but many unlimited wants and needs. So we have scarce resources but so many wants and needs. So what so to satisfy as many wants as possible, we use the concept of economic efficiency. We incorporate economic efficiency so that we can satisfy as many wants as possible. Right? It makes sense that this is there are so many wants, you want to satisfy as many as you can, and that is possible through economic efficiency. So there are two major types of economic efficiency. One is productive efficiency and one is allocative efficiency. We will be stressing on these today. However, there are more forms of economic efficiency as well, which is included in this course, which include Pareto optimality and dynamic efficiency, which we will be discussing later, but not in this video. Now, let's talk about productive efficiency. So, when we talk about productive efficiency, what do we mean by productive efficiency? We know that it is a type of economic efficiency, but what what specific thing does it do that we call it productive efficiency? So productive efficiency is when we are producing at the lowest possible cost using least possible resources. So I'm using minimum resources and producing at the minimum cost, right? So let's suppose the soap can be produced for 10 rupees. It can be produced for 11 rupees as well. But I am producing it at 8 rupees. That is the lowest possible cost, right? So I am minimizing my cost. I am at the lowest of my aggregate cost curve. So so basically I am minimizing my cost. As you can see in this diagram, you see in this diagram we have our aggregate cost curve, and you know this is the property that MC curve affects the aggregate cost curve at its lowest. So you see at this point, right at this point at Q1, our cost is the lowest. So we know that from here we can derive maximum benefit because our production cost is the lowest, so we should produce at Q1 because it is more beneficial for us. Why would we produce at this point? Why would we produce at this point? Yes, you can see the quantity is slight bit higher, but the cost is higher as well. See, cost is increasing. But at this point, our cost is the lowest. So as firms, as rational firms who want to maximize profits, we want to minimize cost, right? So we want to produce at the lowest possible cost. That is one thing clear, producing at the lowest possible cost. Now let's come to resources. Let's do the definition of economic efficiency. When we say economic efficiency, it says utilizing our scarce resources in the best possible manner. So you see, if I have, as I said, that I have a machine that can produce 100 units or so, but I'm only producing 70, then I'm not utilizing it properly. So I can still produce 30 more. I have capacity of 30 more, right? So I should produce 30 more. Now, when we look at this diagram in the PPC, you can see that at point D, we have resources. We still have resources, which we are not using. If we use these resources, we can move on to point A or point B or any point on this PPC, right? So if we are not using our resources properly, we are not efficient. So we can see that point B is not efficient. I hope you already know that on the PPC, all the points are where we are using our resources to the maximum to produce as much output as possible, right? So at A, we are using our resources to produce the best combination of goods and services in the economy, right? And at B, we are using another different combination to produce maximum amounts of goods and services. All these points on the PPC are productively efficient because we are producing as much quantity as possible from our resources. Point C is unattainable. We do not have enough resources to get to that combination. So these two graphs show productive efficiency. The first one showing us producing at the lowest possible cost, and the second one showing us producing utilizing our resources in the best way to produce as much output as possible, right? Now, that is productive efficiency. Let's move on to allocative efficiency. So this is a bit more technical. So when I ask what is allocative efficiency, we can say that producing those products which the consumers want, and this can be found out which product consumer wants. We can find this out by the equation price is equals to marginal cost. So when I say that producing allocative efficiency is when producing those goods and services which consumers want, I mean that, for example, you can produce. There is a demand in the economy for let's say cold drinks, fizzy drinks. There is demand in the economy for fizzy drinks or Coca-Cola. But you are producing Jamishiri. So you are producing so many bottles of Jamishiri, but nobody will buy Jamishiri because there is no demand of Jamishiri. They want Coca-Cola instead. So you should produce Coca-Cola because people want to buy Coca-Cola. They have demand for Coca-Cola, right? So if you have minimum resources, scarce resources, and you use them to produce Jamishiri, which no one will buy, so that would be wasted, right? So you should use the scarce resources to produce Coca-Cola instead because people will buy that, right? So we should use our resources and utilize them for producing the things which consumers want. And how do we know that is allocative efficiency? And how do we know that at which point is we achieve allocative efficiency? Well, that we can know when price is equals to marginal cost of producing that product. When we are at that point, we are allocatively efficient. Sadly, we cannot portray it using a graph, but we understand this equation. The price is equivalent to marginal cost. That will be further explained for example, but let me just give you a little example that, for example, your price is 10 rupees. Sorry, the price is 10 rupees and your cost is also 10 rupees. Marginal cost is 10 rupees. rupees. Not your cost, marginal cost is 10 rupees. So you can say that your cost is being covered by the price. So you are not having a loss, right? So you should produce up to that point where your price is equals to marginal cost. Why? So you see, what is marginal cost? Let me go through your marginal cost. What is marginal cost? Marginal cost is the cost of producing one more unit of any good or any service. For example, I am producing 100 pens. The cost of producing the 101th pen is, let's suppose, 10 rupees. And so that 10 rupees is my marginal cost. The cost of producing one more unit, and the customer, if the customer is willing to pay 10 rupees for that 101 pen, then I should produce that 101 pen. Because why? Because I am not having a loss and my output is selling. That is why I should produce up to that point. And we use marginal cost as a you can say to show that to realize ourselves that at how much point should I produce, at how much quantity should I produce, because it shows the true economic cost of producing that product. That okay, I have to incur this much cost, but if my consumer is willing to pay that much cost, then yes, it is profitable to produce that. Now let's clear this concept by this statement. For example, you produce one pen. Your cost is 2 rupees and your price is 5 rupees. So you are making a profit of 3 rupees, right? Price minus cost. 5 minus 2, 3 rupees is your profit. So you're like, okay, I'm making a profit. So I should produce another pen as well. Now the price of producing the other pen is 3 rupees. And the price is still 5 rupees. So 5 minus 3, you are still making a profit of 2 rupees. So you're like, okay, I made 3 rupees profit on the one pen. Then I produced the second pen and I made 2 rupees profit. So it is still profitable to produce more pens. So you are like, okay, I should produce another pen. So maybe I earn profit in that as well. So you produce the third pen and the price is 5 rupees again and your marginal cost is 4 rupees. Even here you are earning 1 rupees profit, right? So on the first you earn 3 rupees, then you're like, okay, I can earn more profit. So on the second you earn 2 rupees. So now you have 5 rupees profit. And then you're like, okay, I should make another pen. Maybe I earn you earn 1 rupee profit as well. So now your profit has increased to 6 rupees, right? And you're like, okay, let me see if I can earn more profit. So you produce the fifth pen. Uh no, sorry, you produce the fourth pen. You produce the fourth pen, it is for 5 rupees the price, but the cost of producing that pen is also 5 rupees. So you're like, you think that okay, at this my price is equal to my cost. So if I'm not making a profit, at least I am not incurring a loss either. So I should produce this pen, right? Because my market share is increased. I have more consumers who are willing to buy. But if you but will you produce a fifth pen? Because at fifth pen, your price, the price the consumer is willing to pay is 5 rupees. But your cost is 6 rupees. You are incurring a 1 rupee loss. So you will not produce a fifth pen because you would think that at this I am in a loss, so I should not produce this pen. So what will you produce still? You will produce 4 pens. And the total profit you will have is 3 rupees from the first pen, from the second pen 2 rupees, that is 5 rupees, from the third pen 1 rupees, that is 6 rupees, and from the fourth pen there is no profit. So you earn 6 rupees profit in total, and you know which quantity is it profitable, where price is equals to marginal cost. See, your price is 5 rupees and your marginal cost is 5 rupees. And when 5 is equal to 5, price is equal to marginal cost to you, that is the maximum output you will produce. And you will not produce more output. Why? Because you incur a loss. And why do you incur a loss? Why? Because maybe the demand has been satisfied. And now people do not demand it anymore. They don't want it anymore. That is why it sells in a loss, right? So that is allocative efficiency because until you know that this quantity is demanded and producing more quantity will result in a loss. Why? Because there is no more demand for that. For like there is only demand of 4 pens in the economy. People do not need more than 4 pens. So people do not need more than 4 pens, so you only produce 4 pens. Because if you produce more pens, then you will incur a loss. So that is how you're allocatively efficient. You produce what the consumers demand and you produce it in that quantity which the consumers demand. So that is allocative efficiency. Now let's do a quick overview. What is productive efficiency? Productive efficiency is when you are having when you reduce at your lowest cost and you are utilizing your resources at the maximum so that we produce on the PPC. And secondly, what is allocative efficiency? Allocative efficiency is that when you are producing at price equal to marginal cost, so you are producing the goods and services which consumers demand to the quantity which consumers demanded, right? That is productive and allocative. Now you must be wondering, okay, there is productive efficiency and allocative efficiency, but why do we need allocative efficiency? What moves firms to adopt economic efficiency? Why do firms adopt productive and allocative efficiency? Well, you already know, all of you students, that markets are very competitive. There are many firms, mostly in perfect competition. There are many firms. We are not talking about monopoly, but in perfect competition, there are many firms, right? And even in monopolistic competition, there are many firms. And these firms have a profit motive. They want to earn as much profit as possible. And to earn that much profit, firstly, what they will do is that they will produce at their lowest cost. Because what is profit? Profit is revenue minus cost. So if they minimize their cost, automatically their profit will increase. So that is why firms want productive efficiency to increase their profit, maximize their profit. And secondly, fear of closure. If the firms are not productively efficient, if they are not producing at their lowest cost, then there must be their rival firms who can produce at its lowest cost. And when it produces at this lowest cost, it will also have a lower price, and people will buy it from them. For example, if I produce 10 rupees a pen for 10 rupees, then I sell it for, let's say, 11 rupees or 10 rupees. So my price would be at least 10 rupees because I do not want a loss. And my rival firm can produce the pen at 8 rupees. So its minimum price would be 8 rupees. So who will buy it? Who will consumers buy it from? From me who is selling it for 10 rupees at least, or from my rival who will sell it at 8 rupees at least? Obviously from 8 rupees. Same quality, same pen, right? So that is why we need to have productive efficiency so that our business is not closed. Secondly, we have allocative efficiency. So in allocative efficiency, these two things also encourage firms to adapt to allocative efficiency because first you get the profit motive again. You will if you produce the goods and services which consumers want, they demand, then you will earn the profit. Like I said, if you produce Coca-Cola, then you will earn profit. They will sell, but if you produce Jamishri, they will not sell. People will not buy. There is nothing demand. So if you want to earn profit, you have to produce those goods and services which consumers want. Technically, fear of closure. If you produce Jamishri and no one buys Jamishri, you will incur a loss and your firm will close. So it is important to produce those goods and services if we do, which consumers want if we do not want your firm to close, right? So that was productive efficiency, that was allocative efficiency, and we also studied that why do firms use economic efficiencies, not the other two efficiencies, Pareto optimality, dynamic efficiency. We will discuss that in the next lecture. Hopefully you enjoyed this session and hope you had a good time. See you all soon in lectures. Allah Hafiz.